Welcome to Disney A, the Canadian-themed Disney travel podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Krysta.
And I'm Brandon.
This week we are heading to Disney Plus to chat all about the Mighty Ducks.
Quack. Oh, wait. No, not yet.
Not yet. Before Gamechangers comes to Disney Plus on the 26th this month.
That's soon, yeah.
We decided to revisit the movies, so we literally just watched all three of them back to back.
Yeah.
Before we get to any of that, though, we have a few top of show things to take care of. First of all, March Madness. This one was crazy. This was our last run at the individual categories.
This is the final category.
Yes.
And next week it'll be the final four.
The final countdown. We've been listening to a lot of hockey music.
Yeah.
So this week we had a thrill ride, but we decided to go mountain. Favorite mountain thrill ride?
Yep.
And so that was, of course, Splash Mountain, Space Mountain, Big Thunder Mountain, and Matterhorn Mountain. And oh my God, literally, it was almost a four-way tie.
Yeah, apparently the audience was as good at making decisions as you are.
Oh, about the same. And I'm pretty bad at counting, too.
Yeah,
do not teach math.
Math is hard.
Math is hard. But we think that Splash Mountain eked out a win on this one. I think my theory is because it's changing, that might have swayed a little bit that way. Yeah, but man, people feel strongly about their mountains. Let's just say that. By far the most votes we've had.
It's a tough category.
Yeah.
I think this would be the number one seed in your March Madness.
100%, yes. So our final showdown is our favorite Disneyland item based on the highest of each of the previous weeks. So to refresh your memory, that is favorite snack, which was do you remember?
No.
It was the Dole Whip.
Oh, I was going to say churro, but
no, it's wrong.
That was just mine. That's just mine.
Your favorite. Yeah. Favorite entertainment item, which was Phantasmic.
Yeah, that was a good choice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Favorite dark ride, which was Pirates. And now, of course, we have Splash Mountain joining that. So
it's gonna be
good luck voting on that. We will have voting open all week, though, on all of our social media stuff. The other thing, one of the things that we talk about top of show is a nerd thing you are currently into this week. Brandon, what is your current nerd thing that you're kind of into?
We've been kind of Marvel all this month.
Yeah.
And Falcon and the Winter Soldier just came out.
Yep.
But we watched Age of Ultron.
Yes, we did.
The Winter Soldier. And Civil War.
Yep, this week.
Just getting ready for it.
It's true.
Man, those movies were even better than I remember, so...
I know. And we've been talking about it and everything like that. And it's like, who does not enjoy these movies? Just super fun.
Yeah. And both the Captain America movies are just really good. And even Ultron, which is kind of a mixed reception type of film.
Yeah.
I liked it. I still liked it quite a bit.
I said this when we were talking about Ultron before. I think Age of Ultron gets a bad rep just because it's up against the other Avengers movies, which are so strong.
It's definitely the weakest Avenger movie, but still, that's pretty good company.
Yeah, ridiculously high bar. Awesome. You were talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So we do this Marvel...
Well, wait. What's your nerd thing?
Oh, right. Sorry. Yup. Okay. So my nerd... Can I say Animal Crossing?
I mean, that's what you're doing.
Well, new items came out. And it's been exactly 1 year since it was released.
Yes, so it's 1 year anniversary that you've been playing this game.
Yes.
Yeah. That's interesting. I mean,
so so that is my nerd thing.
Got a new villager today?
I know, I went villager hunting. I'm really into villager hunting. I don't know. It's odd, but I really enjoy it. So I did that. I was a little disappointed I found someone and only 28 tickets and not 100 and some. But, it was fun. So, yes, I'm very into that.
So my secondary nerd thing is I made a spreadsheet for you for your villager hunt.
You did.
With pie charts.
Yeah, there were pie charts.
Everyone likes pie.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And charts
for
pie. It was Pie Day this week. Good job.
It was, yeah.
That was the pie we had. Okay, so... That was my nerd thing.
Okay, back on topic.
Let's go back to Marvel. You mentioned Falcon and the Winter Soldier before we started our crazy Mighty Ducks marathon.
6 hours of Mighty Ducks or close enough.
Yeah. We watched the first episode.
Yes.
Initial, spoiler-free, initial gut reaction. What did you think of the first episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier? And since you went, yes, I'm going to assume that it was all right.
Well, spoilers are going to be a little less important for this one
it's true.
than they were for WandaVision, I think. It's pretty straightforward. It's just a kick butt Marvel movie that's longer.
Yeah, divided into sections.
Like the special effects are top notch.
Yep.
Like you cannot tell a difference between the movies we just watched this week and this show. So
pretty crazy. All of you people. You people.
What do you mean, you people?
The people who are whining about WandaVision. Like the first few episodes.
Yeah, you people.
Yeah. Who are whining about WandaVision and not being able to get it, or like not wanting to watch something that was,
different.
Dealing with grief and dealing with emotions and having the slow build. Here you go.
Pew, pew, pew.
It was super fun.
Oh, yeah.
Super fun.
It's still dealing with emotions. It's just more in a straightforward Lethal Weapon type of way.
This is very much people who really like all the action stuff in the MCU. They're going to enjoy this a lot more than WandaVision.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even though I loved WandaVision, I'm still really enjoying this so far.
It's awesome.
I mean, one episode in, but thumbs up.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was really good.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other thing we like to talk about, top of show, is what are we currently drinking?
Well, so we just watched all the Mighty Ducks movies, and to ease our way through the painful 90s sports movie melodrama that is the Mighty Ducks, we decided to play along a drinking game.
We're a little old for this.
We are a little old for this, but so every time they scored and every time they quacked,
they quack a lot in these movies, okay?
Yes. We had a nice drink of our gin and tonic.
Yes. We are both drinking gin and blackberry tonic.
Blackberry tonic, yes. So very, very delicious and goes down easy, thankfully.
Thank goodness, yes.
There was a lot of goals in those movies.
Well, thank goodness. Fewer goals in the third movie. It's kind of like the whole thing.
They were preaching defense in that movie, so
yes,
it was
we'll
important.
talk about that, but thank goodness. I was like, I think I'm going to die here if we keep up this pace. All right, so before we get to all the goals and defense and all that stuff, we have news items.
It's a big one.
All right. Disney A news update.
They officially announced it. Disneyland is reopening April 30th. It's going along with the California health and safety and all the tier systems and stuff, and it's apparently still going to be 15% capacity while it's still in the red tier.
Yep.
Well, whatever.
At the rate they're dropping them.
Yeah,
My goodness.
mean, it's going in the right direction, the graphs and all the vaccinations.
It might not be in the red tier for long.
Yeah, so that's big news. And
April 30th.
That's
That's
I
pretty
think
big
that's
news.
our news.
That's our news, yeah. Well, Touch of Disney did open this week.
It did, yes.
Yes. And that was super, super exciting, but kind of overshadowed by the fact that Disneyland is actually open.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to be back in California Adventure and see all that and have some of the wine festival food come back and have a Disneyland churro again. But
in part, we haven't watched a whole lot of coverage of that. I've, of course, seen lots of postings and things, and it looks pretty awesome. So probably this week coming up, we're going to be watching lots, I think.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, and so that is a pretty big news item.
big time, yeah.
Very exciting. And that takes us to the main topic.
Disney Plus and chill.
Okay, so the Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks, yeah.
Mighty Ducks. Let's do a little bit of an overview first, and then let's go movie by movie, chat about what we think.
Okay.
So, first of all, the 1990s saw a crazy outpouring of live-action teen-ish, preteen sports movies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was a big genre.
And Disney was right in there.
That was kind of their bread and butter at that point.
It really was. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that gave way to the Mighty Ducks. Now, the Mighty Ducks also led to an animated television series, and of course, the upcoming live-action sequel series, which is the impetus for us talking about this.
Yeah.
And a real-world NHL team. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The films came out in 1992, 1994, and 1996, and oh my, were they early 90s. Early to mid-90s, but especially those first two.
Oh, yeah.
And it became a cult classic, which is a really nice way of saying it was so bad it was good and became very popular.
Yeah, and it was of its time, and
totally
kids grew up with
100%.
this. Like, we specifically were the perfect age.
Exactly.
Basically the same age as the kids.
Yeah, we grew up
in the movies, so
exactly
it worked for us, and
Yeah.
Hockey is a big thing in Canada.
Totally. Besides becoming a cult classic, it did have very poor critical response.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I can't imagine why. However...
No Oscars for the Mighty Ducks?
Weird, huh? Several professional athletes have expressed appreciation for the series and said it helped inspire them and was like an outlet and everything like that.
Yes, because ducks fly together. And...
Ducks fly together.
And that helped them.
Yes. I think
for reasons,
well, I mean, not just hockey players have said this. However, I do remember, well, we can talk about this a little bit later, but so both my brothers played hockey, and one was close to me in age, and so would have been about the same age as these guys as well. And there were always a lot of other sports movies for kids. You know, there's lots of soccer movies and lots of baseball movies and
not as many soccer movies as you would think.
I remember watching a lot of soccer movies.
I always wanted a soccer movie.
The Big Green.
Yeah. It was worse than the Mighty Ducks.
Nah,
actually.
I like The Big Green.
Yeah.
But there was not a lot of hockey movies because, of course, most of these movies are made in the States, and hockey's much bigger in Canada than it would be in the States. So I think the Mighty Ducks really latched on for anyone who was into hockey. It was just... the only option, basically.
Oh, I remember it was huge. Yeah. And I actually kind of resented it for that fact because I didn't play hockey as a kid.
You liked hockey, but you didn't play hockey.
I liked watching hockey, but I never played it. And
All right. So let's start with the beginning. Let's start with the first Mighty Ducks movie, 1992. Old Gordon Bombay, Emilio Estevez.
Emilio!
That's also dating us a little bit. Okay, so besides the shout out in Night at the Roxbury, what did you think of this movie?
So like this is like if you're gonna have a framework for a cheesy 90s sports movie, this is it.
Yeah.
You got the evil team that they play in the first game get trounced, and then they work their way back, and then they play them again in the finals and triumph.
Of course. Not like they did that at any of the other movies.
Yeah.
But yes.
This is like dating back to like Bad News Bears and a long time ago. But
we need to establish how much they've grown during that time.
It's just like a prototypical cheesy kid sports movie.
Yeah.
It does what it needs to do, but that's not really how hockey works.
We'll talk about how hockey works here in a minute. Okay. So the thing that stands out most to me is, dude, if your entire existence is defined by missing a penalty shot when you were like, what,
8?
10? Well,
10?
Yeah, right? Cause
he's young. It's supposed to be a peewee hockey team, so whatever that meant at that time.
In one peewee game where you've scored 100 and however many
198 goals that season, yes.
That was going to be one of my trivia pieces.
Whoops.
That's fine. That's why I have backups. So if you have a season like that and you miss one penalty shot and you let that define your entire existence as a human being, my goodness, is that sad.
He's not a well-adjusted individual. And I mean, it goes on to show that. Like,
it does.
He's not a good person at the start of this movie.
I get that, there's growth and everything like that, and it would be really interesting. Well, it would be somewhat interesting to tie it in, like hockey is connected to his father and so on and so forth, and his father dies and stuff like that. Maybe hockey is like...
He's got as many daddy issues as all the superheroes.
Yeah, almost. Well, almost.
Almost.
Yeah, he did have Hans.
Yes.
So, this dude is not very well adjusted. Yeah, so he... Very quintessential 90s yuppie kind of critiquing that.
Leans into the yuppie... Like, it's Minnesota?
Yeah.
Minnesota. I always associated the Mighty Ducks movies with California because
of the second one.
Well, because of the second movie and also because of the NHL team is in California, Anaheim, because it was owned by Disney originally.
Yeah, it's was really close to Disneyland actually.
Yeah, no, that was the whole impetus of the whole thing, right? Yeah. But yeah, it was in the first movie, and the Ducks team actually comes from Minnesota, which is the Canada of the United States.
Yes, it's true.
They talk like Canadians more than most of Canada.
Yeah, they say A more than we do. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah,
yeah. There was an episode of How I Met Your Mother where they make fun of that.
Yes, it's true.
They need Marshall and Robin need to hang out all the time because they're basically the same.
Yeah.
They hang out in t-shirts in the snow. Speaking of, it has been, like plus 10 Celsius here?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit.
I don't know.
But plus 10 Celsius here, so that means we've been, sitting in T-shirts and tank tops on the deck.
Yeah.
That's a reasonable thing to do.
It's warm for the spring, so,
Yeah, surrounded by snow. So we get it. Minnesota, Canada, yes. So, of course, this makes more sense that there are people passionate about hockey there.
For sure.
Yeah. And we had this as a trivia question before. Well, you asked me, what was Gordon Bombay's crime that got the DUI for which he was sentenced to community service, which is then becoming coaching.
DUI was his crime, yes.
It was his, yeah. Can you imagine them doing that now?
That, like, the scene of him driving down the road while chugging a beer in a kid's movie.
That's crazy.
What?
That's crazy.
That is really wild.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what did you think about this one? Just
It's not a good movie. Although I'm pretty sure Hans they remade into the storefront guy in Frozen. I know one is like Norwegian and the other one is German, but they seemed the same to me.
I don't know German.
Hans?
Well, he's Norwegian.
Is he?
Yeah, that's why they put their
They-
hands on the ice.
They do say that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yoo-hoo.
Yoo-hoo, big summer blowout.
On all of these hockey skates. That was my accent.
Not good.
No? Okay.
No,
All
no.
right. So then we move on to D2. And we go from, like, local like,
Pee-wee
to Team USA.
Yeah, so-
Okay, so Brandon has a lot to say about this movie in particular.
Okay, I understand you need to get bigger and better for the sequel, but they jump straight to the Mighty Ducks become Team USA because of reasons?
Because, like, local good team, I guess?
No,
Sorta.
they were a dysfunctional team that barely won by a miracle. They literally call it the miracle of Minnesota.
Many times. It's like a recurring name, actually.
And so then they recruit this miracle Pee-wee team to become Team USA.
Okay, but, let's look at the nature of this tournament, first of all.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Team USA representing what exactly?
USA.
No, I get that. But, let's look at the other countries involved and things like that.
Well, I was going to get to that.
Okay, never mind then. We'll wait till you get
Yeah.
to it. So I'm, wondering about how important is this tournament?
Obviously not very important because I know that the U.S. has a national development team where they wouldn't just recruit a random Pee-wee team for fun and then add some stereotypical extra people in there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there were 5 extra players, maybe something like
that. You got your really good girl goalie.
Yeah, she was really good.
You got your really fast Mexican American.
Well, he was from Florida?
San Diego.
Florida, I think he was from Florida.
Oh, he's from Florida. Oh. Interesting. Cuban American?
I don't know. Hispanic American.
Yeah. He was like Speedy Gonzalez, basically.
Yeah, and that's was the joke they were going for, and that does not age well.
No.
But of course he can't stop.
Can't stop, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they all need a gimmick, right?
Of
so
course.
you got your speedy guy who can't stop.
Yep.
You got your Asian figure skater.
Yep. An Olympian.
Who can't score.
Or he's just small guy.
Small guy, a little guy.
Yeah, he could score. He's just a small guy.
Yeah. And
Crazy Texan redneck.
Who
is really dumb.
Just dumb and can't play hockey that well. Well, I mean, he's
he
supposed to be able to play hockey,
He was good at puck handling, bad at things like passing.
Or thinking.
And thinking.
I don't know.
Yeah, was bad at that.
Kind of
really,
silly.
all good at roping, which is apparently a very important hockey skill.
It is not.
No.
Narrator.
No.
Was in fact not an important hockey skill.
Okay, so you were a little critical of this movie, basically.
Yeah, well, it makes no sense. You go from 0 to 60
right.
for no reason. They could have incrementally made it a little bigger, state. They could have gone to state championships or something instead of the world.
Right.
They're suddenly on Wheaties boxes. And
that's true. They were on a Wheaties box. It was a whole thing.
It was crazy. Mm-hmm. And then besides that, they're in this world tournament, and suddenly their big evil opponent, who's also wearing black, just like the first movie.
Of course.
Yeah.
How else will you know they're the bad guys?
Team Iceland.
Yes. Not known for their crazy good hockey teams.
Iceland. Okay, here's the thing about Iceland. It's a very small country.
Yes.
Not a big population.
No.
Not enough population to draw from to be good at any sports on the world stage.
Right.
It makes no sense.
Well, my favorite was the first team they played in the tournament that was like, oh my goodness, so crazy, was Trinidad.
Trinidad and Tobago with their tie-dye uniforms. I think my theory was that this came out shortly after Cool Runnings, which was a big hit. And so they wanted like some kind of Caribbean flavor to it.
Again, though, Trinidad not known for junior hockey.
No.
No.
Any kind of hockey.
No.
I'm pretty sure you couldn't field a team. Well, maybe.
Maybe field a team.
Maybe if you
They said that about the bobsled team, though.
Yeah, and you see how that turned out. The movie is not a documentary.
But a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. No, Trinidad and Tobago would not be in a World Hockey Tournament.
You know who wasn't in this World Hockey Tournament?
It's kind of an important omission, yes.
Yeah, especially in our opinion.
What kind of rinky-dink World Hockey Tournament does not have a Team Canada
The one
qualify?
where they wanted the states to win.
Yeah. It was like, okay.
Sorry, guys.
So we want this Disney movie ending where Team USA wins. We can't invite Team Canada.
Yeah, we want them to win, and we want them to play Iceland. The only way that is going to happen... No, this is not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Not even Russia. At least Russia had a team there.
They had Russia in the tournament.
Yeah.
And they upset Iceland.
Yeah, weird. I don't know. What about, like, okay, other hockey teams? Finland? You could put Finland in there.
Get a Scandinavian country in there. Finland, Sweden.
Instead of Iceland.
Would be great. Even Norway, they're not great, but they're better than Trinidad and Tobago.
It had the tie with the Norwegian guy if it had been a Norway guy. Yeah. Like a Norway team, right? Norwegian Hans and everything.
That's probably why they didn't want to.
Well, then put Finland or Sweden.
Speaking of the Norway guy.
Yes.
His brother was in this one, apparently.
Because he went back to visit his family because he was the favorite. Hans was the favorite.
Hans.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So
there's a big summer blowout he had to take care of.
kind of a weird continuity thing where they just randomly bring in a brother for this movie.
But not the third one.
Not the third
no.
one. Yeah.
No.
Maybe I'm thinking about the canon and continuity of Mighty Ducks
Maybe.
a little too hard.
Maybe. Like Bombay's love interests and build up this whole thing where, okay, look, I'm all for like single mom raising a boy and he's being very accepting.
Yes. We did not talk about this enough when we were talking about the first movie.
No, we were very brief.
Charlie really was trying hard to set up his mom.
Yeah.
Maybe a little too hard. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, it was a little weird. It was a little weird.
It's like, hey, would you like to come date my mom? Yeah.
That was weird.
Come date my mom.
It was weird.
Yeah, it was super weird.
And then in the second one, there's like an offhanded comment like, oh, since she remarried.
Yeah.
Even though there was this whole thing about how hard it was for them to date. And this was like a year later. Less than a year.
Yeah, it was literally a year later. It makes no sense.
Yeah, like a little bit of continuity problems there. I get it was because they wanted to have this whole like love weird interest thing. Yeah. And so you could have the Iceland woman being so symbolic of the more yuppie stuff.
Yeah.
More yuppie
It was
stuff.
his temptation to be not good again, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. So
whatever.
That. So all that. And
but the biggest oversight of this movie is there's no Team Canada. They should have been the evil team.
100%.
But I mean, I guess you can't really paint Canada as the evil team.
Yeah, good luck with that.
So,
well, I mean, people have tried.
I mean, South Park tried, but it was like satire and it was hilarious.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, and also, can we discuss the cameo hockey player who shows up?
Yeah.
Wayne Gretzky shows up to wish Team USA happy good luck, boys. Totally behind you, Team USA.
Not Canadian at all. But
no.
I mean, he's kind of like adopted America because he he got traded to the Kings and like was helping build hockey programs in the States, and he lives in the States now.
Now,
but
not in 1994.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying. He's still Canadian. Very, very Canadian.
But I mean, like, okay, Canada. We're just pretending Canada doesn't exist in this game, in this movie.
Basically,
Canada doesn't exist. So
I mean, the best hockey player on the Ducks always wore 99.
Exactly,
and for a very good reason.
Yeah, exactly. So that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good. I don't think that you complained about anything as much as Canada not being in the tournament, other than like the hockey itself.
When you make a sports movie, it's not really the sport, but hockey is tougher to dramatize than, say, something like football where it's stop and go, or baseball where there's like very specific things that happen. Hockey's a free-flowing thing, so to make it a dramatic sports movie, you kind of have to fudge stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of it kind of bothered me. I don't know.
Watching the movie while listening to Brandon commentate, there was a regular use of some profanities, but there was also like, that doesn't happen. That can't happen. Doesn't happen in hockey. Nope. That wouldn't happen. Definitely wouldn't happen. Also, making fun of concussions hasn't aged very well.
Yes, there was a lot of concussions in these movies to small children.
Yes.
That is a problem.
Yes, there were.
Yeah. And hits from behind causing concussions. And it's problematic.
It's problematic, yeah. So, to be fair, the 90s were not great at concussion protocol
safety,
and stuff. Safety in
health
general.
and safety.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The referees didn't wear helmets in these, hey? You notice that?
That was the 90s for you.
Yeah,
the referees didn't have to wear helmets back then.
It's kind of weird watching now,
though. The refs would coif their hair and want to look good while they're blowing calls.
They
beat Team Iceland, though, right?
Yes. They beat
thank
Team
goodness.
Iceland. Thank goodness. Oh, man, it was
set to the score of Queen.
Oh, yes, they did. And then they celebrate set to
badly sung Campfire Queen.
Yes.
Because they are the champions, my friends.
World. Da da da.
These movies are just fantastic. Aren't you glad we watched them all?
They're a lot of fun. And also, all of the evil coaches get their team to fight dirty. And so you have
including Coach Bombay in the first movie.
Exactly. Well, he tries.
Yeah.
The Iceland coach is no different, of course. While he's wearing black and has his hair slicked back. He really is missing a mustache.
In old westerns, the villain always had a black cowboy hat. Mm-hmm. In 90s villains, they always had their hair slicked back.
True.
It's just the sign of the villain.
It's true.
And in the second movie, when Coach Bombay is having problems, he slicks his hair back. Mm-hmm. It's very symbolic in the 90s.
Yes, a great literary analysis of this film. But you have the one player who the coach comes out and he's all like, "You lost it for me." He says, "No, you lost it for yourself."
Yeah, see, this player is much more well-adjusted than Gordon Bombay was as a child.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So they celebrate, yay, Team USA. They are the best in the world now, apparently.
For Junior Goodwill tournament with no Canada.
No, yeah.
Big asterisks there.
Big.
Gigantic maple leaf-sized asterisks.
Those asterisks are sweet like maple syrup.
Mm-hmm. So
okay, look, Canada is really proud of hockey, okay?
We are. And
we don't, you know what? On the world stage, Canada doesn't always win, but we usually play the States, and it's always a good game.
Yeah.
And, okay, a lot of times we win. But even when we don't, it's a good game, and it almost always comes down to Canada and the States, and we didn't even get to the tournament. We're upset about this.
It's a garbage tournament, clearly.
We were busy playing other more important tournaments.
Yeah.
With the other team.
It was a goodwill tournament. It was goodwill for the States because they could win.
Well, I'm pretty sure that if you had a Team USA, your players wouldn't be this little local team from, most of the players might be from Minnesota, but they wouldn't be this little local team from Minnesota with 5 other players, one of whom is supposed to be this amazing skater who doesn't know how to stop. They do not make the national team.
No.
It's just it's not how that happens.
No. The USA actually has a really good development program, and they are really good at hockey.
Yeah.
It just is the way it is.
Yeah.
They're probably the second best nation at hockey in general.
Yeah.
Russia has an argument.
Yeah. Do you think we might be going a little bit too far into the analyzing the hockey part of the hockey movie?
It is a hockey movie.
Yeah.
And they're trying to make you believe that this is a hockey team playing hockey games. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
So now we leave Iceland behind and we go into D3.
Right.
Dun,
so they
dun.
They are originally a small peewee team in this Minnesota inter-city league.
District kind of deal.
And suddenly they're Team USA.
Yeah, big jump.
And now they're at a preppy high school.
Yeah.
It's kind of a step down.
Yeah. And
it's weird.
I really thought it was a college thing, but no, it's high school. They say several times. Charlie says he's 14.
Yeah, he's 14. He looks older than that.
Well, because he was 17 when
apparently
he made it.
You said he was 17 when he was filming this. He looks older than that.
He does, but I read an interview from Joshua Jackson, who plays Charlie, before he was Pacey or anything. And he said that, yes, that they, came out every 2 years, and poor Emilio Estevez had to deal with them when they were 13, and then 15, and then a little bit when they were 17. But, yeah, 17 playing 14-year-olds, but looking like they're 22.
Yeah, and I don't know. So,
especially that one Bash brother.
Well, okay, we'll talk about him later.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're in this really hardcore high school hockey academy, basically.
They've gotten scholarships because of their hockey playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so full ride scholarships, which for some is a bigger deal than others, and that's made super clear.
Which is actually kind of interesting, I found, because like some of them are a little more privileged, and then you have Kenan Thompson's character that they recruited in the second movie. He's from South Central LA, and he's like, no, this is like a big deal for me. I'm getting like a good education, and like I need this.
Yeah, so a couple of the times they make comments, even from the beginning, about like not liking the school, or my dad said I can come home if it's no good, and everything like that. He says, no, my dad said I have a full ride scholarship, stay here, he's gonna kick my butt.
Yeah.
And it was like, and he kept saying, I'm not messing up my scholarship.
I think this was like the most realistic thing I've seen in like the Mighty Ducks movies.
It's
like,
totally true. Yeah.
So I actually quite like that.
I like that too. I also like the girl who was going around trying to get signatures for a petition.
Oh, the random new girl.
Yeah, random new girl. Who, because now the boys have officially apparently hit puberty, so they're allowed to have love interests.
Oh, yeah.
Kinda.
Sign of a side
I mean,
thing,
there was like a little bit flirtation stuff in D2, I guess. But anyway, yeah, they're 14 now, apparently. Or 17, 22-year-olds looking like they're 14. So anyway, yeah, she's trying to get signatures because the school team name is the Warriors. And there's that little commentary there where she goes up to Charlie and asks for a signature for a petition to get the name changed. And he says, what's so bad about that? And then lists a whole lot of really bad names.
So he lists a bunch of professional team names, which are all currently getting a lot of heat and or have had to change their names already. So yeah, maybe having your team mascot be a Native American is not the best choice.
Yeah. Caricatures of cultures or races, bad.
Yeah.
Don't do that. So and this was, I thought, pretty progressive for 1996 that they were having this discussion. And he says, the name Warriors isn't so bad. Let's look at these other ones. Maybe the best argument for something isn't like, it's not that bad because there's a whole lot worse.
No, yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a little bit ahead of its time, maybe.
A little bit,
Yeah, so that was pretty good, too.
So the one thing I will say, D3 actually surprised me. I think it's the best paced of the Mighty Ducks movies. For a third sequel of a cheesy kids series, it's actually pretty well shot and written. And there's some interesting topics there.
Yep. Well,
it's not a good movie.
Technically, it's probably the best of the three. If you're going technically, critically, if we're talking technically and critically, that's a low bar.
No, super low.
Your first one has your nostalgia factor, and your second one as well. I remember watching the second one way more than probably even the first one, quite frankly. And D3, I know I've seen it when I was younger, but I don't really remember it. So it doesn't have the nostalgia factor. So it's relying on the critical thing.
It's just, it should be a cash grab at that point.
Yeah.
And the fact that they actually tried was interesting, I guess.
Yeah.
And the lesson about defense, and it only takes a second to score a goal, and no lead is safe, kind of sticks with me, especially as a Leafs fan. Yeah. I don't want to talk about that. No.
Even today.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's not talk about that then. That, and how he applies it to life, and of course you have here Emilio Estevez doing more like bit pieces, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a glorified cameo, but he's in it a fair bit.
And there's a little bit more coming of age and moving on.
Oh, and Hans dies.
And also Hans dies. But after he has to give motivational speeches and stuff, though.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, it is important because that's kind of his role.
And he also knows he's dying somehow. He's like...
Well, he was
he's
kind
like,
of...
goodbye forever.
He was kind of... I think he was having heart attack symptoms. And I think he must have known that.
His Norwegian powers to know.
Well, no, it showed, and he was kind of like breathing heavily. Yes. He seemed like he was in pain and such and so forth. So Hans dies, and of course, then, Gordon Bombay has to come back and, save the day a little bit, get a lawyery again.
He lawyered!
Yeah, lawyer.
Wait, that's the second How I Met Your Mother reference to this episode.
Yeah, it really was. Good job.
Sorry.
So yeah, that happens, and of course you have your previous players back in there, and they're dealing with coming of age stuff and more conflicts. Ooh, bad guys don't wear black here. Red. Yeah.
And their fans wear like native head.
Yeah, that's not
things.
great.
Yeah,
No.
well, at least they did mention it.
Yeah.
As a kind of a talking point. It's
Kind of
it's 1996.
yeah.
I don't know what we're gonna do with that, but
Charlie's mother comes back
randomly,
just to be in the stands.
no husband.
No, what happened to him?
Maybe she's a murderer.
Maybe like 2 husbands off in a pretty short succession of time.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that movie.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie's mother.
Mighty Duck story.
Yes, we need more backstories for
Right,
these side
okay.
characters.
So I want to talk about the backstory I want to know about.
Yeah?
Yeah, so in the first Mighty Ducks movie, the driver of the limo, so when Bombay is sentenced to community service, part of the deal is because of course his license has been revoked, is they said, I'll
probably
give you,
from the beer chugging while driving,
that would do it, is we'll give you a driver. And you have this guy, driver, I don't remember his name.
Lewis, I believe,
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, so Lewis, if that's not his name, that's now his name. Okay, that's what we're calling him. So Lewis is his driver. They become chummy and they start chatting and stuff like that. And he ends up kind of being like an assistant coach, even though he's just kind of there. But what's interesting is Bombay loses his job.
He does, yeah.
So would he not have lost his driver?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the driver also lost his job.
Just because?
Well, I mean, he was employed by Bombay's boss, the big Ducksworth lawyer guy.
And there goes another trivia question.
Quack, quack, quack. That's where he got the name for the Mighty Ducks from,
That
for
was
reasons.
definitely the trivia question.
Well, okay, whatever. Anyway, he was employing him, and so when he's mad at Bombay,
Yes.
but the driver still wanted to be with the team, I'm sure he got fired too.
Well, yeah, if he decided to stay with the team, it was interesting, and I was like, but I want to see them
they had
interact
bonded
more
and
with the
stuff.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had the kid flipped upside down.
Wanted his backstory though.
Yeah,
That'd
that's
be
what I'm
interesting.
saying. I wanted his backstory. I wanted his side
It's
story.
like a former wheelman for the mob,
right?
Is what
and he's
I
just
see.
like
yeah.
turned his life around. These plucky kids just got to his heart. So, Lewis the driver, a Mighty Duck story.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, talk to us, Disney. We've got ideas.
This would make a great Disney Plus show. Yes.
Maybe he'll show up in the new show.
Probably not.
I don't
No.
think so. I don't think so. And he is never seen again.
I mean, Hans's brother, comes in the second movie, and
True.
he's never seen again.
Yeah, he seems like his older brother.
So he should probably be, I would say maybe he could come back in the series, but he should be dead as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
probably.
the actor might be dead as well, because he
Probably.
looked
Well, I know
pretty
Hans
old.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, what did you think? Oh, I asked you about the first one. The second one, you were just really annoyed that Canada wasn't in it. What about the third one?
It's a decent teen melodrama,
Yeah.
I guess.
But you had that super inspirational moment, Brandon, where Gordon Bombay slowly walks out of the arena. He's come to terms with his problems, I guess.
No, not really, no.
Oh, but he's really good friends with a bunch of 14-year-olds.
Yeah.
He says so.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. No, I would say this has an interesting social class commentary to it. Just because these are underprivileged kids for the most part.
And they make a very clear point about who does and doesn't belong in this very preppy school. In fact, Banksy,
yeah.
who is a central character for conflict in the first one, and again a little bit in the second. Not really conflict in the second one, but he has a role in the second one.
He's the best player.
He's the best player again and again. And he is surprisingly the only one who's chosen for the varsity team, even though he's the one from the rich family.
Yeah.
Which is
He's
also
always
probably
the rich
why
kid,
he's the rich kid. That's part of his gimmick, and he's the only one chosen for the other team, even though all these guys played on Team USA.
Yeah.
Yeah. But apparently they're not as good as the regular high school team, I guess. Yeah, it's a thing. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, so then there's that class question there.
Yeah.
You have...
Russell?
Russ?
Russ Tyler or something like that. Yeah,
well, anyway,
yeah.
you have him making comments a few times. You know, they say that the team is white trash, and he brings up the fact that their team is the one that not everyone's white on it. Yeah. Or male.
Yeah. And that's the thing about the Mighty Ducks is it's always been co-ed.
Yep.
Well, I mean, they've had at least one girl on.
Yes.
And multicultural. There's been some black players, and then in the second one they have a bunch of different races on there, and so,
and the varsity team sure doesn't.
No, they're pretty white, preppy
men,
rich dudes. Yeah. They
do make it super clear that it is an us versus them kind of situation.
Yeah. And it works. D3 was actually the one that surprised me that it was like more watchable than I was expecting.
Yeah.
After the first two, I was like, "Oh man, we got a whole nother one of these," and it was okay.
Yeah, and usually series go down in quality.
Maybe my expectations were just lowered enough.
Maybe you were drinking enough gin,
and I had just had enough gin, and it was fine.
But yes, D3 watchable. Pleasantly surprised.
They're all watchable, but like in like a kind of so bad it's good way.
Right, cult classic way.
Yeah.
So I mentioned Joshua Jackson, who plays Charlie, is kind of the central hockey player mostly in the first one. Yeah. And then definitely in the third one. Mm-hmm. He's the protagonist of the third one.
He's the main guy in the third one, for sure.
Yeah.
And then, but somehow he gets benched in the second one.
I maintain he benched himself.
Anyway. Continuity, not important.
Yes, okay. So that's Charlie. And my continuity thing with that one is in the second one, he said, I always said I'd be a better coach than player. And in the third one, he's all like, whiny about not being the best player. And when the one guy's like, I don't know if I want to play hockey my whole life. He's like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Guy who doesn't want to play hockey his whole life. Mm-hmm. Yes. Maybe he wants to go be a lawyer or something like that, hey? So in this one, we have the Bash Brothers. Mm-hmm. Well,
mostly the second one.
Mostly the second one. And our one character is Fulton?
Yeah.
Yeah. He shows up in the first one as this, like, kind of bully goonish guy, except he likes the who become the Ducks. Yeah. District 5, he likes them.
He kind of protects them and stuff. And,
yeah.
But he can't skate, and he has a big slap shot, and then I guess he learns to skate for the second movie.
Yeah, well, they got him on skates and, like, kind of tottering, but, like, skating enough that he could be on the ice by the end of the first movie, and he plays in the second one, and they made fun of it in the third one. Because they're like, oh, we like Fulton, and he's so good now at skating, and things like that. And he is the actor, Eldon
Henson.
Plays Foggy
Nelson.
In Daredevil.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, in the Marvel, that TV show.
The Netflix Daredevil.
World. Mm-hmm.
Which may or may not get absorbed into the MCU.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
So he plays Foggy, who is a fantastic character, by the way. And when I was young, I was always like, he's my favorite. And now Foggy is like one of my favorites. And yeah, I totally did not understand that correlation until we were watching this now.
Nice.
That was like rooted in my brain somewhere.
Yeah. And the other Bash brother does an impromptu strip show in the penalty box in the third movie for some reason, just because he's got like nice muscles now or something.
Yeah.
It's a little weird.
It is a little weird.
He's still a teenager.
Mm-hmm. We don't know if he's...
The actor may not be, but he's supposed to be playing a teenager.
Yes. At most, if the one guy's 14, this kid would be like, what, 15, 16?
Yeah.
Something like
that? Maybe don't sexualize the 16-year-old boy.
Yeah, and they like make a joke about it.
Oh yeah,
They're like the ladies in the audience really like it, and the crowd.
And they zoom in on Charlie's mother when they say it.
Yeah, who's like cheering and stuff. Oh. So I get even this happened in the second one too. You know, when the Bash Brothers went a little crazy and things like that, and the Texan roped the other guy in the ice in the middle of the game. Like the crowd went crazy, and I get that they really were like amping up the crowd, like they were throwing stuff and yelling stuff and like throwing themselves against the glass and stuff during then. But in they didn't need to take off clothing.
No, taking off clothing. But so the Bash Brothers is a throwback to another hockey movie classic, Slapshot.
Right.
The Hanson brothers do very similar things. They're goons and they cause fights and they get the crowd going. It's a throwback to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did they have to take off their clothing to do that?
No.
Were they teenagers at the time?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
No, Slapshot's rated R.
So it actually would have probably made more sense for them to take off their clothes.
Yeah,
actually.
true.
Yeah. Still not teenagers. Let's not do that.
Nah, that's weird.
That did not age great. Looking at that through adult lenses, you're like, wait a minute, no, bad. Don't do that.
Or the cheerleader upskirt scene.
Yeah, oh, that was not great. No. That always made me uncomfortable watching it in Greece. That came out in the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah. The young man who decides he's going to
crawl under the
table of the cheerleaders and like look up their skirts and grin at the camera.
Yeah.
That was funny. No, that was not funny. Yeah, so certain things did not age great. No. Not great at all.
So overall, Mighty Ducks nostalgia and not much else. They're not great. Hopefully.
Well, okay. I'm gonna speak in defense of them though.
Okay.
They are
Good luck.
not great for now standards, but for 1990s sports. Children's movies, like, yes, okay, nostalgia factor, and I'm not saying necessarily great movies, but like fun and silly and like.
Okay, so 90s sports movies, you got stuff like.
It's not The Sandlot, okay? Let's just not
okay,
like.
you got stuff like Sandlot, and you got Rookie of the Year, which is cheesy, but better. It's better.
And I just really like that there was a hockey movie for kids like that.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just colored against it because I didn't like.
Yeah.
I didn't like it when I was a kid, so I have zero nostalgia for it.
Oh well, maybe.
But hopefully.
But Foggy.
Hopefully, Gamechangers has more than just nostalgia going for it.
Well, we get Emilio back for
Emilio!
At least a little bit. I don't know how much of a. I don't know if it's going to focus more on just like the kids or if he's going to be like a thing. I don't know. But anyway, he's in there. Emilio. And I really, really hope they quack.
No, they're going to quack. 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 Quack.
Quack.
Yeah,
oh, I went too far.
Probably enough quacking.
Okay.
But yeah, that's all I have to say about
the
Mighty Ducks.
Yeah. Maybe don't sit and watch all three back to back in a row before it comes out.
Yeah,
but
I wouldn't
if you wanted to jump on and watch one of them,
probably
nostalgia.
Probably just watch the first one.
Yeah. You're not missing a ton of plot if you don't watch all three.
It's the most simple sports movie. It works.
Yep.
And makes sense, and yeah.
The end.
The end.
Yeah, and Emilio Estevez is really young in it, which is just enjoyable to see. Pretty high-powered lawyer for being in his 20s.
Good for him.
Yeah, and you too can wonder about Louis the limo driver's backstory. Very important. So that takes us to trivia.
So last week, we were talking all about WandaVision.
Yeah, and I love WandaVision, but I was not confident on these questions at all.
Yeah. I tried to trip you up a little bit.
Well, you did.
Yeah, okay. So, do you want to find out the answers?
Oh, I suppose, yes.
Okay, so first I asked you, Wanda and Vision move into a house?
Yes.
In a cul-de-sac?
Yes.
And I told you that this whole neighborhood was like kind of like a backlot and it has been used in different filming, but specifically their house was used in a pretty famous movie.
Yes.
And I asked you what it was.
Yeah.
And you said...
Wrong. Home Alone.
Actually, it's National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Which is really cool, and I see that movie so many times.
Yes, you have seen it a lot.
Like, every single year. You know what, though? I was thinking Christmas, so somewhere in my brain...
You were close. Yeah, you did go. Yeah, I don't know.
Somewhere in my brain, it was like, this is a Christmas movie. Yeah.
And as a side bonus trivia, their neighbor Dottie's house was in Lethal Weapon.
Yes, that one I knew.
Yeah.
Just annoyed at myself. But my brain knew it was Christmas and that Home Alone wasn't right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Home Alone house is very...
Very distinct, yes. But I knew it was Christmas and that was just a house that was very...
We make fun of how big and fancy the Home Alone house is.
What does the father do for a living? And does he invest in poinsettias?
Yes. Yeah. He's got all the poinsettia futures you could want. I don't know.
Oh my god, he's a drug mule or drug lord or something like that.
Definitely. Okay, so then I asked you, the songwriters and composer on WandaVision also collaborated on another major Disney project. What was it? And you said...
The Incredibles. Wrong again.
Yeah. No, sorry. It was actually Frozen.
Which is really cool, and I don't know why I didn't think that. I know they wrote Frozen.
Yeah, you even had, you had seen them talking all about their theme songs, And they are very famously the Frozen
100%,
songwriters. Yeah,
100%.
And they
I don't
come
know.
from Broadway, which
Yes,
you like.
which
yeah.
I love Broadway.
Yeah.
I'm mad at myself for that one. I'm not mad at myself for the National Lampoon one so much.
Yeah, I mean that's just cool trivia.
Yeah.
that you'd be guessing on that.
Right.
So whatever.
But I'm mad at myself for that one. I should have known that.
You should. And third, maybe not so mad at yourself for this one. This one was pretty tough. Director Matt Shakman for WandaVision actually has had previous experience directing a superhero TV show.
Right.
And I asked you what TV show that was. And you said...
Batwoman. I don't know. 0 for 3.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't right.
Not so good, but completely anti-Disney, anti-MCU. It's The Boys. He directed an episode of The Boys.
So can I just say that is a super fun show? Really adult.
Really, really, really adults, yes.
Like really adult. When I recommend it to people I know who have kids, I'm like no, don't even make sure your kids are asleep. Like in another room, door closed, everything. Like it is probably the most adult show I've watched.
It is a tough watch. You need to be a mature adult.
Yeah, and like in the right frame of mind. Like some stuff is actually hard to watch.
Oh yeah, I mean it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
But...
okay, but super like well done. Yeah, so can't say I'm surprised once you said that, but very not Disney.
He's clearly a versatile director.
Very much so.
Yes.
My turn to ask you now.
Excellent. Maybe I can get better than you.
Oh, well, it's not going to be hard.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
All right. In the first movie,
what
is Gordon's license plate?
Oh, Just Win or something like that. It's something to do with win. Yeah, Just Win. It's when he's a lawyer.
So between Mighty Ducks 1 and 2, Gordon Bombay plays for a minor league team. What is it?
Oh, they had really ugly jerseys.
That is not false. That part is true.
It was like the Minnesota Waves or something like that. It was like, it had like an M and it said Waves on it, I think. I can picture it in my head, but yeah.
Yeah, jerseys were not attractive.
No, they were ugly. Like a teal and maroon and orange or something weird.
Even for 90s standards.
Oh, it was ugly.
And I love the 90s, but like, these were not good.
Yeah, they did not have the NHL or AHL licenses to use real hockey teams. Yeah, just the Mighty Ducks.
Just the Mighty Ducks.
Oh, and the Sharks. There was a Sharks.
Oh yeah, there was a Sharks one
in the first movie. One of the kids wears a Sharks t-shirt because they were probably a new team in '92.
Yeah, and the Stars.
The North Stars.
Yeah, and then the Dallas Stars.
Well, yes, because
in the
North Stars were not the North Stars anymore. Yeah.
No. Okay, and I had a question from part 1, a question from part 2. So here's a question from part 3. In part 3, we find out Charlie is allergic to something. What is it?
Is it when he's throwing up at the amusement park? I
will tell you that is not when we find that out.
We just watched this movie. I don't remember him being allergic to anything.
Do you want a hint?
No.
Okay.
He's allergic to losing. I don't know.
All right, losing.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
We'll go with that. That's weird. Hopefully it's not Bee Stings, because that was a different movie, and Macaulay Culkin had a bad day.
A bad day.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So if you want to guess on our trivia questions, or if you have your own trivia you'd like to suggest, feel free to contact us on our social media or through our website. And you can also take your opportunity to let us know your vote for our final week of Disneyland March Madness.
Four.
And
Monday.
That's true. It does come out on Monday.
Yeah.
That's a true thing. Let us know your favorite Disneyland thing. From those 4 items.
From the top 4, the final 4.
Fantastic.
No, not yet.
No. What? I was just teasing it.
So that's our show for today. Thanks to El Mule, who's responsible for our awesome custom theme song that you heard at the top of the show. You can find a link to his work on our website at disneya.wixsite.com/podcast. And you can also find us on social media. Instagram at disneya.podcast, on Facebook at disneya, and Twitter at disneyapodcast. You can find Disney A episodes on your favorite streaming platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and many more. Please review our podcast and subscribe. If you know someone who might like to listen to us, please recommend us.
And if you leave us a review, we will read it out loud on the air. Well, on the podcast.
As long as it's good.
Right,
If
yes.
it's bad, we'll just cry, I guess.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Don't make us sad.
I'm sad. We've discussed on this podcast how easily I cry at everything.
It's
Probably
true.
not that far of a stretch.
And then I have to comfort her. It's this whole
It's
thing.
the whole
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
It's a thing.
Yeah. We don't want that.
No.
So you can also listen to Disney A episodes on Magic of the Mouse Radio on Mondays at 4 p.m. Eastern, with replays on Wednesday and Friday, also at 4. You can listen to Magic of the Mouse Radio on Live 365, MyTuner Radio, Radio Garden, and other radio station apps. Join us next week when we're talking all about The Touch of Disney, which just started.
Yep, just started. We were actually going to originally talk about that this week and then Mighty Ducks next week for when it was coming up. But in case you guys all wanted to go out and watch Mighty Ducks before the show started. Quack. Yeah, exactly.
Well, ducks fly together, okay?
Apparently when roosters crow and everything. Yeah. Ducks fly together.
Don't talk to the Texan guy. He's kind of weird.
Ducks fly together.
All right. Well, I'm Brandon.
And I'm Krysta. And until the next adventure, TTFN. Ta-ta for now. Thanks for listening to Disney A.
Oh.
Yeah, talk to us, Disney. We've got ideas.
This would make a great Disney Plus show. Yes.